Alright, story time. I just went on the worst date ever.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel, and in today's video we're going to be talking about bad first dates. Now if you've had a couple bad first dates, I know you're going to relate to some of the stories that people are going to be telling in this video. And if you haven't, stay tuned to the end so you can learn a thing or two. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss an upload.
Have I had worse dates? Yes, but this was like the worst I've had in a long time. Trigger warning, audacity, bad manners, and a broke man. Alright, so this man and I have been texting for a few weeks now, and we were finally like, yeah, let's, meet up. And we went to a cafe near my house, and he did have to drive like 45 minutes. I was like, okay, I mean, as you should. Now, tell me why. I get there, he's already sitting down, right? And he got us a table. I'm like, okay, cool, great. But I walk in, and he's already ordered himself a drink. And it's like gone. And, I said, hi, nice to meet you. I sit down. I'm like, oh, you already got yourself something to drink. And he was like, yeah, I love so-and-so and whatever. And I was like, oh, okay. Now I'm thinking automatically, okay, so how's this gonna go? Because I'm gonna get a drink, right? Is he gonna stay seated? Like, I can't even imagine a situation in which he stays seated and lets me go get my own drink on a first date. Guys, let me tell you, he did. He was like, yeah, feel free to grab something, as if he owned the whole damn store and was like, help yourself to whatever. And was like, oh, okay, I see what this is. You're broke and you have no manners. How dare you invite me out and you can't even get me like a little drink or something. So I go get in line and I order, and I'm standing there waiting for my drink to come out because I'm not walking back and forth and whatever. And I've already made up in my mind, like, I'm gonna get my drink and I'm walking right out and leaving. And it's just funny because like the table he chose was right next to the door. And I'm sorry, maybe this is me just being judgmental, and it's coming from someone who loves books and reading. He brought a book with him. It had like a highlighter and he was like all up in that thing. I was like, on a date? It just felt performative, you know what I mean? So I texted my sister. I was like, hey, do you want any boba? Because I'm grabbing it to go, you feel me? So I got my order and I walked out of there, and I walked fast to my car because I was a little worried. Sometimes men be crazy, and I wasn't sure if he saw me or not, but I didn't even look his way. I got my ass out of there, and I went to my car, locked it, blocked him on everything, and I had to drive past the place to like leave, and I see him sitting in there like looking at his phone all hard. Like, I wonder where she could be. I wonder what's happened. You happened, sir. Like, come on. Yeah, in that situation, there's no need to have any sort of conversation. Just goodbye. Like, this is not what I want at all. This is not the type of man I'm interested in. And goodbye. So, yeah.
So I went on a date with this nigga. And while we was on a date, I went to the bathroom before the waitress had came. Because I had to make sure everything was okay or whatever, because I had to use the bathroom, stuff like that. I went to the bathroom, and when I came out, I guess the waitress never came. So I'm waiting, and I'm like, he's like, you ready to eat? And I was like, yeah, I'm ready to order. He was like, don't worry, I already ordered for you. I said, okay, but you didn't know what I wanted. He's like, oh, I know what you like. Trust me on this. I said, okay. So the food gets there, and he has this beautiful set of 16 all flat lemon pepper hots and some french fries. And I was sitting there waiting for my food to come. He said, just wait, it's coming. So I'm looking at him eat, and I'm like, okay, can I get a fry? He was like, no, your food is coming, just wait. I waited. He finished eating his food, and after he was done, I was like, the waitress never came. He was like, don't worry, they're coming right now. So then he I did like this. He did the sign like this. So when the waitress got there, she brings over the check. And I was like, I didn't do my order. He was like, no, it's fine. They're gonna bring it. Don't worry. And the waitress was looking at him, and I was looking at him. And she was like, what do you want me to do? He was like, don't worry about it. Just go ahead and take the check. So when she brings back his change, he gets up. He's like, are you ready to go? I'm like, I didn't eat anything. He's like, trust me, you've had enough. Excuse me? Okay. That's why I won't be going on any dates. That's why I sit home and I eat Domino's and I just stay to myself, because I be damn. I be motherfucking damn. Somebody try that on me again.
Alright, so I'm sitting in my car right now after my second date, and that was literally, like, not even exaggerating, the worst excuse for a date in the entire universe. Like, you can't make this shit up. What just happened to me? Like, I'm actually shocked for words. It's like worse than I could have ever imagined. Awful. So we were supposed to meet at 8:30 p.m. So I text him at 8:15 saying, I'm on the way now. I'm on the way. He didn't reply back, but I'm driving. I'm on the way down. He texts me at 8:30, like at the exact time we were supposed to meet, saying, we should have met another day. I completely forgot. I lost my wallet that has all of my cards and my ID in it. But it's kind of weird now, but yeah, I'll be there at 8:55. What are you talking about? You lost your wallet and forgot? We confirmed this date yesterday, confirmed again this morning. How did you not remember you don't have a wallet, that you don't have any money? Like, what did you think we were going to do on this date? Just like sit around the fire and just like talk and do nothing? Like, we were supposed to get food, we were supposed to get dinner. Like, are you insane? So then I text him saying, what do you mean? Like, what does this mean? Basically, like, what are you talking about? No reply. So at this point, it's past 9 o'clock. He's half an hour late. And then I wait another 10 minutes and I say, I'm here. At this point, I'm just sitting in my car waiting for him. And he calls me saying, oh, I'm at the light. Where did you park? He's not apologetic at all for being late. He has no explanation, or he's not apologetic for the fact that he has no money. And I'm just kind of like, I parked here. I'm sitting in my car. But then I asked for clarification, like, what is the situation? Like, what's going on? You don't have a wallet? He's like, yeah. And like, I know. He basically was like, yeah, I don't have my wallet, so I don't know. And I was like, well, weren't we going to go to a restaurant? And he's like, well, I don't know how hungry you are, but I was just at my partner's spot. That's what he said. I was at my partner's spot and I already ate, but I mean, I can cook for you. What do you mean cook for me? Like, you're actually psychotic. You're out of your mind if you think I'm going to your home for you to cook for me. Like, are you crazy? He's like, I can cook for you, but I was just like, okay, well, maybe I'll just stay for like 30 minutes since we're already here, just to like say hello, but like, I'm gonna leave and go get something to eat. And he's like, I understand. He's so stupid. So then I'm walking around in the freezing cold trying to find him because I don't know where he parked. So I'm walking around trying to find him. He's making no sense on the phone. So then I finally do find him. I walk up and he's just like, hey, how are you? And I was just like, not good. And he's like, oh, why? I was just like, you're over 45 minutes late. Like, he wasn't apologetic at all. He did not care. He just seems like he's slow in the head. Like, this guy is not all there. He's missing his marbles. Like, just dumb. And then I'm just like, so this wallet situation, like, what do you mean you didn't know you lost your wallet? Like, when did you realize you lost it? He was like, yesterday. And I'm like, well, we were talking about the date yesterday. You just forgot that you lost it? He was like, yeah, I just didn't think about that, because losing my wallet's just not something I do. So I just forgot. And I was just like, okay? Like, he's just not all there in the head. So then we're walking around, ambling around in the cold. So I'm just like, well, what did you want to do? And he's like, well, we can take a walk on this bridge. And I'm like, think in my head, I'm not walking on a freaking bridge at 9:30 p.m. at night in Dallas. You think I want to die here? Like, die with you? Like, no. So I'm just like, I don't really want to do that. That's sketchy. And he's like, okay, well, I can just walk you back to your car. So we walked him back to my car. And I basically was just like mad still, like saying like, so you're just 45 minutes late. Like, I really just don't understand. He was like, oh, you're feisty, Miss Chossum. And I was just like, what? Like, that's not how you say my name? Like, he doesn't even know how to say my name. Like, honestly, at this point, it's just like, laugh so you don't cry. Like, this is actually a joke. What is my life? Why does this keep happening to me? This has been the worst date of all time. Like, I feel like this man was trying to drag me to hell. Like, he was just not all there in the head. Everything he was saying made no sense. He didn't know how to say my name. I was like, I told you how to say my name. And he was like, oh, I have short-term memory loss. I was just like, are you kidding? And he's like, no, I'm not kidding. So yeah, though, this man was a huge red flag. Like, I honestly should have never even met up with him, but I was already here. So I was like, I might as well meet him in person. He wasn't even as cute as his pictures anyway. Like, this was just a joke. I hate my life. I feel like he was probably drunk. Like, I just don't understand. He literally said he forgot that we had a date tonight. He didn't remember till I texted him at 8:15 saying I'm on the way. It was just a bad experience all around, the worst date of my life, and please pray for me, you all, because this dating game is awful here.
I've seen a lot of people posting their bad first date stories on here, and I think I have a pretty good one, so I'm going to tell you all about it. So this happened over the summer. I was out to dinner with some family friends, saw this very cute waiter at the restaurant, and I was feeling bold, so I slipped him my number, and we talked for a few days here and there, and then he said he wanted to take me out. So he comes to pick me up. We agreed that we wanted to go on like a little nature walk together and then like see where the day went. So he comes to pick me up, and when I get in the car, one of the first things he says to me is, even if this doesn't work out and you never want to see me again, I just want you to know how a man should treat you. So I should have just opened the door and gotten out and went back inside at this point, but I was sort of caught off guard, so I did not do that. So we get to where we're going for a walk, and it's like lightly raining at this point, and he's talked a lot already, like in the short amount of time, about how he used to live in California, and he's like, it never rains in sunny California. But like the way he said it, because he had also been talking about how he was like a writer and a poet, the way he said it made it seem like he wanted me to think that he came up with it. So when I said, oh, haha, like I like that song, he like got really weird and quiet. Like I wasn't supposed to know where it was from. So we're walking and talking. I could tell when I first saw him, like at the restaurant, that he was a little older than me. I thought he was maybe like late 20s, like 30 at most. And I was 23 at the time that this happened. But as we're walking, he tells me that he is 37. Which, I mean, he looked younger, so like good for him, but I was not expecting that at all. And I sort of knew from that point, okay, like there's just no way this is gonna work out, but I felt like I was in it at that point. So after we finish our little walk, he says he has somewhere else he wants to take me. So we get back in the car and we end up at this really cute, like old-timey little inn. And he's showing me around because it's where he used to work. So he knows it really well. He used to work at the restaurant in this inn. So he's showing me around, like we're walking around. It's like very cutesy, very historic. And then he takes me to the restaurant. And I think, oh, nice. We're going to have lunch together. No, he just takes me to the restaurant. We look around. He's like, yeah, I used to work here. And then we leave. So we get back in the car and he's like, I actually brought you something. I brought you a gift. And I'm like, oh, that's nice of you. What did you bring me? He's like, this is something all the way from California, and I just wanted you to have it. And he pulls out, like, I kid you not, like a 50-cent little, like, sticker. I'll put a picture of, like, kind of what it looked like, which is fine. Like, I don't expect gifts. Like, it's not that I, like, wanted him to get me something. It was just sort of the way he was hyping it up to be like this amazing thing, and it was like this little sticker that looked like a Canva design. And then as he's driving me home, he also says, I love that you have green eyes because I really want my kids to have green eyes. We just met, by the way. We just met. So yeah, I mean, he was driving me home because I had just made up an excuse that I had to go. I really couldn't take anymore at that point. It was very weird, strange vibes. Yeah, never saw him again.
I don't do story times and I don't document my personal life, but today I need you to be the judge. So I just got back home from a date that barely lasted 15 minutes. So this guy, we met on a dating site. Now, please don't judge me because I know you're also there. So we met there and he wanted me to go see him last night at like 1 a.m., which is insane because who would do that, right? Like that's like outright a booty call. Like, who would go? So, I turned him down. I told him no. Like, I tried to turn him down in like all the polite ways, but he wasn't getting it until eventually I was just like, yeah, I've got work tomorrow morning, so good night and we'll talk tomorrow. So today, I text him and, we start talking and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, oh, my friends and I are going over to the location rooftop. Maybe you could join us. So automatically, this is just like not a date. This is like a hangout. Well, first date, but like a hangout with friends. I don't know if that makes sense. So while I'm getting ready, he like asks me to like send over my pictures, but like we matched on this side. Like, you've seen my photos on there. Like, what do you mean you want me to send you my pictures? And so I text him on the side and I'm like, it's me. Like, maybe you've forgotten who it is, but just like have a look at my pictures. And he still comes to me on WhatsApp and he's like, yeah, I still want to see those photos. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I sent him like 2 photos, and I think from the photos, like, he can tell the kind of person I am, how I dress and whatever. So I get to the place and he's looking at me and he's like, oh girl, you look amazing, you smell amazing. And he's there, he's like inhaling me, he's smelling my perfume, he's like all over me, he's like asking, oh, what perfume are you wearing? And then he has the audacity to ask me, like, did you dress like this because you're like looking to make babies? And I'm like, no. And he's like, well, do you have kids? I'm like, no. And he's like, why don't you have kids at 25? And I'm like, honey, I'm not ready. And he's like, well, nobody's gonna marry a woman who's 30 with kids or a woman who's just 30. And I'm like, well, honey, somebody is, because women out here are getting married even at 40 and 50. And because I had to tell me, well, your prime was at 23. And I'm like, excuse me? Have you ever been a woman for even one day in your life to know when the prime is? And so at this point, he keeps in bringing the fact that he's just like a realist and an idealist, and he's just like trying to be honest. And I'm like, there's a difference between being disrespectful and being honest. And then he starts telling me about my cleavage. He starts talking about my dress and how it's short and saying how I'm like attracting attention and all that. Mark, you like, I spent an hour on my makeup. Like, I spent an hour in my makeup and trying to get ready for this day. Like, what the actual fuck? And yeah, kudos to him. He said I looked sexy, but I just like want to show you my outfit real quick. And then you can tell me if his comment was right, because this guy said I was dressed like a whore, that I dressed like this because I was looking to get laid, and as a result, men kept looking at me. So I'm just going to show you my outfit real quick, and then you guys are going to be the judge. And Mark, he even asked, like, the friends were there. 2 of his friends were there with some girls, like very beautiful women who had just come back from horse riding. So of course they were not dressed for a club setting because they just came back from horse riding. And when they were asked, like, is she dressed like a whore? They're like, no, she looks absolutely sexy. She looks divine. Like, if you had just given us a chance to go back home and change, we would probably look the same. Yeah, so I'm just gonna show you what I'm wearing so you can be the judge. Yeah, there. Okay, so what do you think? Do you think he's actually justified for thinking I'm dressed like a whore? Like, how do whores even dress? Like, that's the question I have in mind right now. But you be the judge. From my thoughts, I just think he was broke and he felt like I was expensive and couldn't afford me. And he actually, before I even forget this, like, he went ahead to tell me that if I feel like he's being disrespectful, I should get my own Uber home. Because I told him, if you feel like my outfit offends you in any way, just get me an Uber home. Like, you got me an Uber here and let me go back home. And then he tells me, If I feel disrespected, I should get my Uber home. Like, that was a threat. He thought that would keep me there. Guys, he thought that would keep me there. Honey, I've been living alone since I was 18. I'm so used to paying my own bills that this doesn't even threaten me. So you know what, ladies? I ordered my own Uber and I came home and I'm just about to eat some very tasty pilau that my sister made. So yeah, tell me what you think.
And since we're all sharing our worst first dates, let me tell you mine. I never thought I was gonna share this with the internet because there's so many elements of this that's so bad. Here we go. I matched with this guy. His name was Gospel. That is his name, and I think his behavior that night was so heinous that he doesn't warrant anonymity. And also his name's Gospel. That adds to the story. This was like 4 years ago. We match on Hinge. And we're going back and forth. He says, hey, let's do like a wine and paint night. I say, that sounds so fun. We end up having a wine and paint night at my place. Now, I've since grown up a little since then. That was 4 years ago. I was 26, new to the dating app world. I was just inviting people over to my house for the first night. I've stopped scheduling first dates at my apartment. At the time, I'm living in downtown Los Angeles. He texts me saying, hey, I'm here. I'm in the parking lot. We're gonna walk to a Target that was nearby, and we were going to buy wine and painting supplies and have like a little night of that. So I go and I meet him in the parking lot. Right when I meet him in the parking lot, he does this number. And he goes, oh my God, I forgot my wallet. Now that should have been my sign to be like, oh, you should go then, because parking isn't free. I don't know what I'm doing, so I say, oh, no problem. He's like, do you mind? Like, I can Venmo you. I'm like, sure. I pay his $7 to park at my apartment. We start walking to Target. He's walking in front of me. I don't like that. We get to Target. We start shopping around. We get like paints. We get easels. We get a bottle of wine. We get to the checkout. Again, I forgot that he didn't have his wallet. We start scanning. I'm standing there in my head wondering like, oh, is he gonna pay for all this? Then suddenly, right when I'm at the register, I go, this bitch doesn't have his wallet. So he looks at me and he goes, sorry, I don't have my wallet. I'm like, pay for everything at Target. We walk back to my place. He stops at his car and he goes, oh wait, can I get my backpack from my car? Why am I letting a stranger with a backpack enter my apartment? I don't know. I go, sure, get your backpack. He gets his backpack. We walk into my apartment. He's wearing like a black zip up and like gray joggers. Okay? So not really dressed up for a first date. It's fine. We're just gonna hang out at my apartment. We get inside my apartment. We sit at my table in my kitchen. We start talking to each other. Again, I just met this man, so I don't know anything about him, so we're just going back and forth. We're sitting down, he opens up his backpack. He tells me, oh, I brought a gift for you. I say, wait, that's so nice. He is Nigerian. He says, yeah, in my culture, in Nigerian culture, if you go to someone's house for the first time, you have to bring them a gift. I say, oh, that's so sweet. He pulls out a diptyque candle. I say, ah, okay. He hands me the candle. I say, this is so nice of you. I put it on the table. Then he tells me that he just came back from a bachelor party and that he has party favors in his backpack. If you know what I mean, then you know what I mean. If you don't worry about it. I go, ah, okay. He starts pulling out the party favors. He has one party favor and another party favor. He asks if I'd like to imbibe in either of the party favors. I say, no, thank you. I just met you. I, again, should have been like, you need to leave. I don't know you, and now you're bringing party favors into my apartment. You've got to go. I'm just a child. I'm just a girl. I will say that one of the party favors he brings is, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, so I'm going to say grass. Grass, and then another party favor. I for sure say no to this party favor, but I say yes to the grass. I watch him roll up the grass, and I'm thinking, okay, maybe this will calm me down. He passes me the grass, I imbibe in the grass, and then it doesn't calm me down, it makes me more paranoid. Now I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm gonna die. I just took grass from a stranger. I'm going to die now. I start to panic. I don't die. Spoiler alert. Now we've chatted, whatever. I've calmed down. Everything's fine. Now we start to paint each other. I actually still have these paintings somewhere in my apartment lying around. This is a new apartment, but I still have them. If you want to see them, tell me. We're talking as we're painting. He's being super cheesy. He's just like, at that time I had just gotten out of a 12-year relationship. He's like, wow, I can't believe a guy would have fumbled you. Like, look at you, you're at your place. My apartment in downtown was sick. Floor to ceiling glass. It was beautiful. Decorated very nicely. I can show you that too if you're interested. He's like, look at this place. Look at what you do. You're so successful. Like, how could somebody have fumbled? And I'm just like, okay, you're being cheesy. You don't know me. I could be insane. The best thing that came of this night is that he introduced me to Fleabag, which is such a good show. So I sit on my couch. Now we're just watching Fleabag. Oh, side note, I told you I engaged in the grass party favor. He had been engaging in both party favors. So we do grass together and then he does the rest of it all on his own, and I'm just kind of watching this man do this in my living room, and I'm like, who is this and why am I allowing this? We're watching Fleabag. He goes, do you mind if I change into something more comfortable? I go, no problem. He then takes off his sweater. Underneath his sweater, all he's wearing is a white tank top, like a wife pleaser, if you will. He takes that off, and now this man is just shirtless in his joggers in my living room. Now, I will say he did have a six-pack, and so ultimately, like, that wasn't the biggest problem. I'm just like, okay, why is he naked? Like, I'm fully in my clothes. What is happening? Obviously, now I'm like, okay, something's gonna happen. Like, we're gonna get into something. We end up kissing. Okay, we're kissing, and then he's like, do you want to move to your bedroom? Fine, whatever, we're here. Let's get on with it. He was a good kisser, and he was fit. So we go to my bedroom, and now we're doing what people do in a bedroom. And this is the part that like really just makes me so upset every time I think about it. I haven't gotten over it. He has been imbibing in this party favor all night, so he is sweaty and but he's sweating a lot, and I'm just kind of like, this is kind of grossing me out. He is on top of me, and he is sweating, and he's making these like crazy noises, and I'm just like, okay, this is like really a bit much for me. On my bed, I have a $75 Anthropologie pillow that I love dearly. I watched this man grab my Anthropologie pillow, use it, and wipe his whole body down with it so that way the sweat gets off of his body, and then throw the Anthropologie pillow across my room. Oh my God, I've never been more violated. We finish, thank God. I'm so over this guy now. Continues to imbibe in his party favors, this man named Gospel, who's the son of a preacher. We finish, I go into my restroom, he walks to my living room, whatever. I come out of the restroom, why is this man at my fridge helping himself to my grapes? I go, oh, you're really making yourself comfortable. He goes, sorry, I was a little hungry. And then he goes, do you have food? No, I don't have food. You need to leave. You know, at this point, I have no backbone. I don't know how to say no to anyone. So when he says that he's hungry, he goes, hey, I noticed a hibachi food truck outside of your place. I said, yeah, there's a hibachi food truck out there. He goes, I'm kind of hungry. Are you? I say, no. I kind of want some of that. I say, okay, well, it's right outside, so maybe on your way to your car, you can go get that. He goes, no, come on, let's go together. I don't know how to say no, so I say, okay. Walk with this man downstairs to the hibachi steak food truck. And as we're walking there, I'm just like, I'm so over this. I really just want this night to end. We're waiting in line. He's making conversation with me. I'm just like, please let this night end. We get to the front. He's like, what are you going to order? I say, I don't want anything. I'm not hungry. He goes, oh, okay. He orders lobster fried rice and a steak. As he's standing there finishing ordering, the girl says, okay, that'll be $40. This man steps to the side like this and looks at me as if he were a child and I was his mother, because remember, he doesn't have his wallet. And I should have been like, oh, sounds like you can't get your food. Sounds like you should walk to your car and I'm gonna walk to my apartment. Bye, see you never. I don't do that. I say, and here's my card. Go ahead, charge it. Jazz. I pay for the hibachi. We walk back to my apartment. I'm in such an annoyed mood. It's like almost 2 o'clock in the morning at this point. We sit in my living room. We're watching Fleabag. He's eating his food. He goes, wow, like, is this what it would be like to be married to you? Like, I could really see myself spending the rest of my life with you. I say, you're crazy. You need to leave. I'm never gonna talk to you after this night. He eats his stupid little food. I say, okay, I'm tired. Like, I need you to leave. He goes, okay, like, do you want to go again? And I say, no, thank you. And he goes, are you sure? He leaves my apartment. As he's at my door, it's like the end of January, so Valentine's Day is around the corner. He goes, hey, like, I'd really love for you to be my Valentine. If you're free Valentine's Day weekend, like, I'd love to take you out. I just go, oh my God, please leave. Like, please get the hell out of here. I say, okay, yeah, we'll talk about it later. Bye. I say bye to him. He walks out. That night, I sleep on my couch because I can't dream of sleeping in my bed. My bed feels so violated and disgusting. My poor Anthropologie pillow just ruined in the corner. I couldn't. It was a crime scene. I couldn't go back in there. Sleep on my couch. I wake up in the morning. His party favors are all around my apartment. I'm like mortified by this. I start picking everything up. I start cleaning. I change my sheets. I wash my sheets. Like, he's already texted me saying, that's such a good night. You're wifey material. One of my best friends, Alana, I'm on the phone with her. I'm telling her everything. And I say, the only good thing that came of it is that I learned Fleabag and I got a diptyque candle out of it. No problem. Finally finished cleaning. I'm thinking, I'm gonna light that candle and just call it a day. The way that this man took his candle back. That candle was nowhere to be found. It was not in my apartment. When he was packing up his little backpack, putting all his stuff in there, he put the candle back in there. Months later, I get a Venmo from him, and it says, no currency, just vibes. And it's like the exact $70 down to the cents charge. That was probably my worst date ever.
Today we're going to talk about something every woman can relate to at some point in their life. The first worst date ever. Those dates that stay in your memory not because they were romantic, but because they were uncomfortable, confusing, embarrassing, or just straight up disappointing. Women everywhere have shared their stories, and the funny thing is how similar all these experiences are, even when the men, the places, and the situations are completely different. A lot of women say their worst first date taught them more than their best ones ever did, because it showed them red flags, tested their boundaries, and forced them to trust their intuition. Some women remember getting dressed with excitement, doing their hair, choosing the perfect outfit, only to arrive and immediately feel something was off. Maybe the man looked nothing like his pictures, or maybe his energy felt cold, or maybe he didn't even stand to greet her. The first moment already told the story, but many women stayed because they didn't want to seem rude or dramatic, and that's how worst dates usually begin. Many women share stories of dates where the man talked about himself the entire time. His problems, his ex, his money struggles, or his achievements, without once asking a single question. Some women say they felt invisible sitting across the table, nodding politely while realizing that this man was not interested in getting to know them at all. Others say the date turned into a therapy session, with the man unloading emotional baggage that should never be shared with a stranger. Women often describe feeling drained by the end of the date, not because the conversation was deep, but because it was one-sided and heavy. That's when many women realize that being listened to is not a bonus in dating, it's a basic requirement. There are also women who talk about the embarrassment of bad manners on the first date. Some men showed up late without an apology, stayed on their phones, chewed loudly, or spoke rude to the waiters. Women say these moments were shocking because first dates are usually when people try their hardest to impress. If this is the best behavior, then the future would be much worse. Some women even shared stories of men asking them to split the bill in awkward ways, not because of fairness, but because of entitlement, acting like the woman owed them something for simply showing up. That moment alone made many women mentally check out and count the minutes until they could leave. Other worst first date stories come from women who felt unsafe or disrespected. Some men ignored boundaries, made inappropriate comments, or tried to move too fast physically. Women say those dates taught them the importance of listening to their body and intuition. The uncomfortable feeling in your chest, the urge to leave early, the silence you feel when you don't know what to say anymore, those are all signals. Many women say they used to stay out of politeness, but now they know that their safety and comfort matter more than being nice. There are also dates that were just painfully awkward. Women laugh about these now, but at the time it felt endless. Long silences, forced conversations, jokes that didn't land, or realizing that there was absolutely no chemistry. Some women say the men barely made eye contact, while others stared way too much. Some dates felt like job interviews, others felt like interrogations. These experiences taught women that chemistry can't be forced, and that not every connection needs a second chance. Sometimes no spark simply means no spark. What's interesting is how many women say their worst first date actually helped them grow. They learned what they don't want, what they will no longer tolerate, and what standards they need to maintain. After one terrible date, many women become more selective, more confident in saying no, and more honest with themselves. They stopped romanticizing potential and started focusing on behavior. They realized that attraction without respect leads nowhere, and that peace is more important than the excitement that comes with anxiety. Women also share that their worst first date helped them heal people-pleasing habits. They learned that they don't need to laugh at jokes that aren't funny, agree with opinions they don't believe in, or stay longer than they want to. Walking away early is not rude, it's self-respect. Many women say that after experiencing a bad date, they promise themselves to never abandon their own comfort for the sake of someone else's feelings. Again, looking back, many women can now laugh at their worst first date stories. What once felt like a disaster now feels like a lesson. These experiences remind us that dating is not about impressing someone at the cost of yourself. It's about mutual respect, curiosity, safety, and effort. A bad first date does not mean something is wrong with you. It simply means the connection was wrong. Every woman has a story, and every story carries wisdom. So if you've ever walked away from a date feeling confused, disappointed, or embarrassed, know that you're not alone. That worst first date might just be the reason you choose somebody better next time. That's it for today's video. If you have any bad first date stories, let me know down in the comment section below. And while you're down there, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so that you don't